Podcast 135. The OGs are all back.
We're back, baby.
Long hiatus for myself. Hello, everybody. Obviously, Adam and Tim were out and off the rock. They're back. Dexter's steady Eddie. He's been on every podcast, I think, right from day one almost. So
I think I've missed 2 now, but here I am. Who needs a life? Who needs a life? Not this guy.
That's right. And today, Timmy's going to take over the reins. He's going to host this thing. He knows the schedule. He knows the timing format. So we're going to let him run it.
Okay, well, good luck, eh? Like, now you got me all nervous. That's not what we talked about in the background. So
it's exactly what we talked about, actually.
No, I think
Plans
this is
changed, Timmy.
sort of thing that I would normally do, just throw it on somebody and figure out later. So I guess that's karma, eh?
Yeah, well, figure it out now. Let's go.
Yeah,
Here we go.
perfect. All right. Well, anyway, so we haven't heard from any of you guys in a while, and Carrie, obviously, we're starting a new hashtag. Our daddy's back, so that's great that he's back on podcast. So it's nice to have you back there, Crates.
Happy to be back. So I
Yeah.
can make fun of you a little bit, and then people can make fun of me, and it just keeps going around and around.
There is a little bit of a joke. If you make fun of me, apparently you get a cookie. I guess that was going around in Newfoundland a little bit, and
We ran out of cookies multiple times.
I go cookies many times at stores, and if
They
you
probably
see,
didn't even know they needed a cookie. They got a cookie.
in all fairness, if you see Tyler, he probably went up a pant size. He ate lots of cookies. That guy, Tyler, ate lots of cookies.
Now he's just an extra small.
Yeah. You know, no longer a youth large. He's now a mid small. He's growing up and wrinkling. Yeah. So yeah, it was good though. So
Ryan gets a cookie.
It begins.
really great. So
So,
We'll talk about
what's been
bowling
happening?
stuff in a bit. Obviously, we'll talk about.
Yeah.
How about we talk about a little bit of like the Newfoundland experience for you guys outside of the bowling? How was being in Newfoundland for you guys?
Well, I didn't see the sun in like 6 days.
yeah.
So Newfoundland's incredible, right? It's the people are amazing. Like I said, unfortunately, the weather wasn't very good. During bowling days, anyways. But I guess when we first got there, everybody kind of hit up George Street that first night, which was fantastic. Saw a lot of the different teams down there, and spent quite a few hours drinking with the Quebec and Saskatchewan crew. And then basically, I didn't leave the bowling alley for 3 days, for the most part, and. Then at least we had one extra day afterwards on that Sunday.
Yeah.
Did a few brewery tours and hit the fish exchange and all that stuff, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, you guys got down to Kitty Bitty. Kitty Bitty is one of my favorite places in this world.
It was
just
awesome.
just such a cool atmosphere and location, and just everything about it is amazing.
Beautiful. Obviously, Newfoundland. Unfortunately, a lot of us haven't been able to diverge around or like further out than St. John's, right? So worked out really well, like Adam said, weather-wise. Monday, Tuesday was good. Sunday was good. Everything during bowling time was a bag of poo, right? It wasn't the greatest in the world, but that being said, it worked out perfect. We went up and saw Signal Hill right away, and unfortunately, we decided to follow Brett Wren down like Billy Goats down the side of the mountain, not down the path. And about an hour and 15 minutes later, and Lynn Howe almost having 3 heart attacks, we got to George Street. Yeah, we walked that way, and I totally regret that.
Yeah. We almost kill Lynn every time he goes to nationals in Newfoundland, though. He almost dies one way or another. So.
Yeah, and so we went to George Street. If many of you guys don't know, everybody off the plane went to George Street or did some things beforehand. Adam was the only one to have a little nap. So Adam missed out on a lot of festivities. So whether he says he didn't have time, he chose not to make time. So it all worked out. It all worked out very well.
Now, for the record, Tim, you also went to bed at like 10 while I was still
11,
up partying till 3 or 4. So
and honestly,
exaggerating. Just
obviously that nap paid off because he fucking put you on his back for the first 2 days of that tournament. So
that's something we can discuss when we talk about the men's stuff. This is a banter. This is not a
probably should have had a nap, homie.
You don't owe a cookie or anything like that. it worked out. George Street was great. Obviously, it's always a lot of fun. And then we really enjoyed the brewery tour, Kitty Vitty, just the landscape and everything there is just absolutely gorgeous. Then we went to Yellow Belly, went to another one. Obviously, too many flights to remember all this stuff. And
Bannerman?
Bannerman, yes. Yeah, Bannerman was good. And it worked out really well. We really enjoyed ourselves. And hospitality is always great there. We got a cabbie that played the spoons. We're in there. He was playing the spoons and on his phone. So distracted driving is not a thing there, and stopping at red lights and red and stop signs. Adam almost got hit by a car in the bus. That was another thing. We almost didn't make it to. Yeah. We almost didn't make it to the finals. Adam almost got hit by a bus.
Yeah, so. Taylor and Brad. This car came literally within a foot. And all of a sudden, our bus driver ended up missing the second hotel. So he does this 360 on, or I guess 180 on the highway, and the other car did not stop whatsoever. So it came real close to being ended there.
Yeah, but I mean,
but really, what stop signs? Like there is no stop signs there for these drivers, right?
No, it was. I would probably rather take my driver's training out there. I think anybody passes out there, so we're good. We're really good. that being said, I do have to give a shout out. I know there was a lot of things going on with hotels and unfortunate things that happened, but Newfoundland Committee did a hell of a job regardless. After they had a lot of stuff on their plate last minute. 2 hotels last minute, everything else going on, 3 years of pandemic. Happy to be there, happy to be on the Rock, and it was great to have it there. So once again, we really enjoyed ourselves. So
do you still agree with it after this comment?
Well, I minus Craig. And
Craig gets a cookie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's something we can discuss, right? It's teamwork. Teamwork's a very good thing here. Yeah. No, it worked out in my favor pretty well. But it was great. Yet again. Isn't that the truth, eh?
He's great at qualifying.
I guess maybe we can talk about quickly about.
That was awesome. That'd be awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't
that was the whole PEI crew went down there and did that, right? That's absolutely awesome.
Yeah. So actually, long story short, Craig can talk about this. Sheila deserves a cookie. She walked by with a piece of paper after I finally got my first full game in, Game 7, and she's like, "You did it, Tim. You did it." She's walking by. So that was very funny. Yeah. Adam, we can sort of talk about your Hall of Fame. I know you don't like talking about yourself.
Well, we can talk about that when we get to the Tim
we'll do all that later.
Tim and Weber section.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot more Weber.
It's an 80-20 thing, right? It's an 80-20 thing. So that's all right.
How about them Oilers? Hey, you guys aren't talking much about the Oilers these days.
Oh, hey, you know what?
What happened?
It's all right.
Hey, we're just happy to be there, right? So
honestly,
were you actually there?
It was a good season. They made it further than Blues. I love all the Calgary fans being like, "Oh yeah, Edmonton won as many games as in the Western Conference as Calgary did." I was like, "Yeah, but you guys won 3 less games in the division finals, so get out of here." Like
they get a higher draft pick though.
Yeah, well, fair. They're gonna need it after they have to replace Goudreau.
Hey, it sounds like Mike Smith's going to retire, so that frees up a lot of...
And Koskinen's gone.
Yeah.
He's going to Sweden or something like that.
Your nightmares will go away. Maybe one day they'll get a defense and it won't matter about goal.
No, I mean, we have Nurse 9.5. He's Norris Trophy candidate, right?
You know what? Kudos
the guy played with a foreign labrum. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unreal. I love hearing the injuries afterwards of what people played through. And it's just absolutely nuts.
Yamamoto played through a concussion. I didn't think that was a thing, but an upper body injury is all the same, right? So
yeah, but I mean, it was like Tanev when they were talking about him, and he had his shoulder was all like manhandled. There was no way he should be playing at all, and he played the last 2 games against us.
So
right? but then you hear Nurse, you hear Draisaitl. It's pretty nuts.
You know,
Yeah.
and we talk about injuries in sports. There were some major injuries out there. Obviously, after the playoffs were finished, Brad Rusnak came out and he had a couple injuries. He didn't disclose to all his competitors out there. And I mean, there was one guy from Northwest Territories that played. Actually, he literally was in a wheelchair. He literally was in a wheelchair, and then he bowled. He got out of the wheelchair and bowled. Yeah,
Crutches.
crutches.
That's
Crutches.
great. Kudos to
And-
him.
He
And
beat
he
some
beat-
pretty big name players.
He beat MD, Mr. Mitch Davies. Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
And,
Betcha that guy played most of his frames in the first 7 games, though.
Probably most of it.
The guy should have received an all-star for that.
That's awesome, though. I love hearing that stuff. Good for them.
yeah,
That's
so good.
super cool.
That's
Hey, what
super cool.
What about
actually, yeah.
Bennington finally admitting that he threw that bottle at Kadri?
Oh, did he actually admit it?
He admitted it. Yeah.
Nice.
I love it. And Kadri
Me
got
too.
injured, ironically. So, yeah,
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
it was all good though.
But yeah, so amazing trip away from the bowling alley as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely one of my favorite places in this world, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Perfect.
By far mine.
All right. Well, we might as well, before we bring in our first guest, we'll thank our patron members for sponsoring us and donating as little as $2 a month and helping us out bring this podcast to you guys every week, second week, third week. It's summer. Who knows what it's really going to be like, but we try and bring it to you as much as we can and hopefully with good content. So you can sign up at patreon.com/myopinionverse. Why are you guys laughing?
Just don't promise too much, man.
all I know is right now it says we have 78 viewers, and
Holy cow.
after Courtney and Abby leave, we're going to be down to about 30. So,
Whoa, what are you saying
No,
about Jenna?
after
That's
Jen is
rude.
done, we'll be down to
Jenna,
about
we
10.
talked about
Wow.
Yeah,
It's because I'm back, guys. Didn't you know? Anyways, let's bring in our first guest. So without further ado, Courtney Lucas, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Hey, Courtney.
Could you speak up a little bit?
Hopefully
Oh.
my voice will make it through.
I'm certain it will.
How you doing? Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I've been a long time lurker on the podcast, so I'm very excited to be here.
Awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear. How are you feeling after this week?
Good. Besides my voice, I've been a little bit sick, but I've really been riding the high.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. You had an unbelievable tournament. Like, absolutely unbelievable. I mean, as a team, you guys had an unbelievable tournament. You personally had an unbelievable tournament. Averaging 261 and 18 wins. That's insane. That's incredible.
Unreal.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
Well
you.
earned.
So, Courtney, I guess we can go back a little bit to your team. You guys qualified second, and you guys were just a little bit half a point above third, right?
Yeah.
So the last game you lose to Alberta, was there a little bit of the extra half point ended up being pretty big, don't you think?
Yes, and we told Selena got that half point, and we told her that half point's going to be big. Half points always come in handy, and she
Always.
will still tell you, Janelle, that's my half point.
That's right.
Yeah, it's such a big difference being. There we go. Selena makes that comment there, right? It's such a big difference being a 2 seed instead of a 3 seed. Obviously, the less games, but you're automatically guaranteed a medal, right? And obviously, silver is not a medal anybody wants to get. They want to get the gold, but it helps that a little bit, right? So, over the course of your qualifying, was there any big matches you comes to mind? I guess.
Well, I would say that our qualifying was kind of like a slow burn. Like we started off a little bit slow. We lost our first 2 matches, but we really picked up speed because we knew what we could do and we were not performing at that time. Our second day, we really started coming into our own, but it was Friday that we pretty much every match was a big match for us. I remember our first match against Saskatchewan, we really wanted to get that push out, and we swept them 8-0. And our match against Northern Ontario was huge. Unfortunately, we didn't win that game, but that was still important, and we fought that game out. We got through it. So we were very proud of that. We didn't let it get us down, and we just continued on from there.
Yeah, that's a really big point there. Just that even if you guys lose, trying to pull out those positives and then not dwelling on the loss and just pushing forward and trying to, come back in the next game is massive, because you lost, was it 7-1 to Northern Ontario, and then you went 8-0 the next match. That's coming, that bounce back is what wins tournaments. Absolutely. You just can't dwell on the losses. So congratulations. That's awesome. Good for you
And I
guys.
think that's really the strength of our team. We were positive the whole week. We supported each other. We never got down. Even, like, for example, in our first step ladder game against Quebec, in the second frame, we went plug, 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 left. And we said, great frame, ladies. We picked up all our pins. Let's build on it. There was never a moment of negativity, ever.
That's awesome. Yeah. Great spot for it. Frame 2 is not a bad. We did that countless times in Pro League. frame 2, absolute trash. But if you can get it out of the way early and run, perfect, good. But again, it's just maintaining that positivity and not letting those punches, drag you down for the rest of the game.
Courtney, I know a lot of if maybe a lot of people don't know about your team, maybe you can discuss a little bit of them, but you guys are a young team. You guys are very young, right? I mean, I know Erica's probably the older one on it, and she's still young, right? I mean, is there, did that help? Like, you guys are all rookies basically, right? Most of you guys were, right? So
we had 4 rookies and then me and Erica, and I was as good as a rookie. This was only my 3rd Open Nationals, but I think we used it to our benefit. We all had really strong energy, and we're all friends. And even still that we're rookies, we certainly still had the experience. Selena and Nicole had several YBC national appearances. Katie is a seasoned rookie. She's been to so many youth challenges, so many YBCs. And then Erica, she said this was, I think, her 13th or 14th Open Nationals. And it was my 14th Nationals. So we had lots of experience on our team, and I think that showed, even though we were still a rookie team.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Did you want to give some shout outs to your teammates?
Definitely shout out to Selena. She's so positive energy all the time. Chelsea Noftel was amazing. She came in like a firecracker. And Erica, of course, my number 1 in the Open. We've bowled together every single year, and we've always bowled so well. Nicole as well. She really showed up on the step ladder day. She's amazing. And Katie is just one of my best friends. We've bowled together in Youth Challenge. She was 13, I was 16, and we were dreaming of this day. So I can't even put into words how great it was to win with these ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And your coach was Art.
Yeah. And that's Katie's grandfather, so that was just meaningful in itself. It was just so meaningful.
Yeah, I had a chance to play with Katie the first day of the singles, and what a tremendous little player. Great ball, super consistent.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Always been.
I don't see anything rattling her a lot. I mean, I watched her, and then you see a couple frames. She has maybe 40-3, and it's like, okay, let's see what happens. And then just like, oh, no, 260, 270, right?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just ho-hum, right? Yeah. Very good like that.
Very reliable.
For sure. So maybe you want to touch base on how much it meant to win at home, right? I mean, Plaza is your home center, right? Too, right?
Yeah. I can't put it into words. Like, we've all been trying to find the words for the past few days, how much it meant to us. It was our home lanes. Like, Selena was bowling there since she was 3. And same with Katie. And it was Nicole's home lanes originally as well. We had all of my family was there. My grandparents were there. All of my friends, all of our supporters in Newfoundland. We were always told how amazing it is to bowl in your home lanes, in your home province. And I felt that from day one. But winning there is undescribable. Like, I get chills thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
I don't think any feeling will ever top that.
Totally. in 2010, our men's team came in second to the Newfoundland men, and honestly, we were never. Usually when you lose, like I mean, you're obviously a little bit disappointed, but we were a little bit, but it was like a totally different dynamic because it was just so cool seeing them win. It was so cool having everybody support them, even though it was against us. And it was so neat watching Bobby O win his first national title there, and just the whole atmosphere. It just really cool, and you could see how much this meant to you guys, especially in that video. Like watching that video is just it gives me
Incredible.
goosebumps, and I wasn't even there.
Can you describe that
I just
moment?
watch it back. Oh, it was just when I think back, in the moment, like I really can't, like it was just a blur, and I remember thinking, "Is this a dream? I cannot believe this is real." And we were all just jumping, and I said, oh my god, we did it!" And it was just a blur. And like we were talking in the background earlier, I didn't hear a thing. I couldn't, like the Newfie chant was going, and I didn't even know. We all listened back later and was like, "Oh, we didn't realize that." It was just indescribable. Like I can't even put it into words.
Yeah, it was cool seeing Erica just like fighting through the crowd of people to try to get the hug in. And it was just, it was,
I will never forget that. I turned around and ran back, and she grabbed me, flicked me off the lanes, and just shook me.
yeah,
It was so funny. I'll never forget it.
so awesome. So cool to see. It's so nice seeing the passion for the sport and how much passion that you guys have. And it's nice that we could showcase it and we could see it on a national level. We could tune and watch it, and it just it gives me goosebumps watching it. That's the stuff that needs to be on TV. Those moments right there.
Yeah, I'm so glad we got it on video.
Yeah, 100%.
This was so true. We were on the far end. I think Adam was practicing, and the place erupted. It was absolutely. Those are the moments. Even as a spectator, you want to be there, right? And just for the moment, right? So it was great. So, I guess the question is, another question would be for all those young ladies out there, being one of your first experiences. Is there a certain takeaway you want to tell other young ladies out there about this? Because I mean, realistically, it's quite the feat for what you guys did, right? And obviously, you have many, many more good years ahead of you now.
I'd say just no matter how young you are, keep working at it, and you can get there. Our whole team, like you said, was really young, and we didn't let that deter us. We used it to our advantage. So no matter how young you are, put the work in, and you'll get there.
Yeah.
Put the work in. Put the work in. Love it.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Amazing.
It was a great experience. So, has anybody reached out to you or any comments that like kind of touch home from? Yeah.
Oh, JB's post was just amazing. I woke up on, I think, Monday morning, and I saw it, and I was like, yep. It's exactly how I felt just playing that video on loop. That was really heartwarming to me, and he had really kind words to say to me after we won as well. So I really liked that. It was really sweet.
Yeah, and another guy that plays with pure passion and is so involved in the sport and so passionate about it, and recognizing somebody else's passion is easy, but he's articulate and he's very good at using his words, and incredible.
He's inspiring.
Yeah, and he continues to work and work and work, and like you said, put in the work, and awesome. Yeah, where is that video? We might be able to bring it up here.
It's definitely on my Facebook. I have the one that Andrew Murphy took is a really nice angle, and KO Ogilvy's as well is a longer video.
Yeah, everybody's impatient. They want to see the video.
I want to see it again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is the one that I've seen. Oh, give me a minute, guys.
Do you even know there was a video to tell you honestly? Nobody
Yeah,
shared it on 5-Pin Universe or nothing. What's going on here, people?
My God. This is why we need you back, Carrie.
We were too busy bowling, Carrie. Sorry, not sorry.
Let's zoom in any closer. All right, here we go.
So good.
And you still had to throw 2 more balls after.
Two strikes.
Absolute bombs.
Was it like instant crying?
Oh yeah, instant.
Yes.
Every single one of us were just bombing.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you let the ball go and you knew it was a bomb
I
right
knew.
away. Yeah.
Immediately, I knew. I went, yes,
Ju-
yes.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. And in like one of the probably the biggest shot you've ever thrown, probably,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And you
it
knew
is.
right away. Just
Oh,
good for you. Ice in the veins. I love it. Absolutely awesome. Yeah.
Right after, yeah.
Yeah. Just make sure you don't like slide on your tears. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
So moving forward there, Courtney, I know you're playing Masters like we talked about. Do you have the goal of a double gold now? Having 2 golds in one
Always.
summer? Does that give you a little bit of motivation there? Yeah.
Oh, always. Yeah. My goals are just extreme. And I try to reach them. And even if I don't, then I'm proud. But yeah, definitely double gold.
So who's on your team for Masters?
I'm singles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're
You are the only person on that team.
Awesome.
Works.
Is this your first singles experience in Masters?
Yes.
Awesome. Excited?
Very excited. Yeah. It's going to be. Oh, go ahead.
No, have you done singles for the Open as well, or is this your just first adult national single experience?
Yeah. This
Yeah,
is my
awesome.
first. Yeah.
for
Everybody tells me that it's just the most amazing experience they've ever had. So my expectations are high.
It'll be good, and just being alongside Brad Glynn the whole time,
Yes.
he'll keep you nice and grounded.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I do like the Masters when it comes to seeding your provincial players together. It's a different format, obviously, and it works really well with that when it comes to that. But having Brad there, and it's watching you play this weekend, there's definitely no doubt in my mind you're going to do really well in Edmonton down here. So
Thank you.
yeah, perfect. Courtney, do you have any last words or anything you want to?
I want to send the hugest thank you to the Newfoundland bowling community. The hugest thank you. I just can't put into words the way that support meant for us. And we're still just living it to this day. So thank you to every single one of you for the support and the continued support.
I love seeing the growth in the game out there too. I mean, in the last 5 years or so, it's definitely grown a lot.
Yeah.
I think NBT has a lot to do with that too. You guys have NBT coming up right away as well, don't you?
Yeah, next week starts.
Next week, yeah. Do you think that has helped you guys competitively?
Absolutely. Like just taking from my own personal experience, I had very little stepladder experience. I especially head to head. So in that aspect, it's helped so much. And I think it's increased the interest from younger people, older people, everybody. Everybody wants to be involved and it's accessible for everybody. So I definitely think, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, they'll give you some experience for singles and the match play format for the singles coming up too.
Yeah, it'll be
Awesome.
great.
Super, super cool that they've set that up and got that going. And I figured it would be a big benefit to the community, and I'm glad it has been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Awesome. Come on,
All
Tim.
right. I think we're good. Thank you very much, Courtney, for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Congratulations. Good luck at
Congrats
Masters. We'll see you in a
Thank
couple
you.
weeks.
See ya.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Awesome.
So much passion. Love it.
Yeah. And you can see the enthusiasm on her face the entire time. Like, can't wipe the smile off her face. It's awesome. like, man, when was the last time we were like that? Where we just can't wipe the smile off her face?
We're too old. The joy is gone.
It's
The
You know
last
what?
time I contemplated retirement.
No, it was good though. And obviously she lost her voice and all the excitement and everything else like that. She definitely is a great ambassador of Newfoundland bowling. So it was definitely a great story to be there, and it was great to see that all unfold in their home province.
It was so loud in there during that last ball. And then the two balls right after it were just as loud, right? The big party started right there.
Absolutely.
But that's just kind of the way it is in Newfoundland, right? Like they get behind their teams in a way that's just not seen anywhere else. It's just
Passionate.
it is, yeah, and they'll just line the bowling alley with people, and yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
Pretty
it is.
incredible.
Perfect. So I think we can probably bring our next guest on. If we want to.
You want me to bring that in, Tim? Is that what you're going for? So from the Ontario mixed team, gold champion, Abby Dunn. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hey, Abby, welcome.
How's it going, Abby?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
Your voice is better. Your voice is
Yeah,
better
it's
than
not
Courtney's.
gone anymore.
That's good.
So the first real question all these podcast guys want to know is, how was it playing with Mitch Davies for a week?
I wasn't thinking that at all.
Honestly, it was so much fun.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I've watched him bowl since I was little. Since I was 8 or 9, I've always watched him every year at the Open. I look up to him. He's probably one of the biggest role models to me anyways. And even before the tournament, he took the time to practice with me and just to make me better bowler and ready for this tournament, since I was just, I don't know, being a rookie, I was so nervous to go through something like this. So, but no, overall, it was such a fun experience, especially with him.
Yeah. Mitch is a really good dude, and he's far more supportive than people probably think. But
Very
yeah, a great role model. He's so great for the community out there. An incredible player.
For sure.
Playing with the Talbots too, like
Talbots.
that was an amazing team. And as much as you're cheering for your home province and stuff like that, to see you guys come through, and you had your struggles there as well, but it was awesome to watch. It was fun.
Yeah, and you had a legend in Brenda Walters as your coach, right?
Yeah, that was actually my first time ever being coached by Brenda. And I'd watched her coach many teams before. And honestly, couldn't have asked for a better coach. She was so encouraging to everybody. She positive all the way. Even in our worst games, we lost to BC twice. We lost to a few other teams twice, Alberta being one of them. And every single one of those games, she stopped us in the middle when we were struggling and just told us when we needed, just told us the things we needed to hear, really, just all positive talk. And then the games we lost, we tried to come back, and some of them were very close. But yeah, no, amazing coach for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And who are the other ladies on your team?
Melissa, she was a rookie with me. I grew up playing with her YBC, so I've known her for a very long time. And Cassie, another one that I've watched in the Open many times before, and I look up to her as well.
So you're still in YBC, am I right? This was your final year of YBC?
Yes,
Or
this was my final year of YBC, and I'm actually headed to YBC Nationals in July with my sister for senior doubles, and my dad is our coach.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you been to Nationals a few times in YBC?
I've only ever been once before. My last year junior, I went as a single.
Awesome. And how did this compare?
Honestly, so much more different.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was so amazing to go through something like this, especially with these types of people. They were honest. I couldn't have asked for a better team, and especially singles and teams, it's just so much more different. But the amount of positivity, and you don't get that really in singles unless you have a coach beside you. You kind of need to give yourself the positive talk, but to have other people talk to you while the game's going, it's kind of reassurance,
Absolutely, and it's such a grind. The
Yeah.
tournament is so long, both the nationals and provincials. Your guys' provincials is an absolute grind. Do you feel that this being your first year at the Open, did you feel that provincials really set you up to be successful at nationals? It gave you some experience for it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, going into provincials, our goal was to win. Like we wanted to win. We wanted to make this our goal to win nationals. We all said it, and we made that happen. We had hard games. I think we lost one provincials totals, and that was probably our hardest game is against Niagara. And after that game, we were like, okay, that's it. That's the only bad game we're gonna have. We're gonna put that behind us, and that's what we did. We grinded throughout the whole tournament and came out on top. So it's definitely a good feeling.
For sure. Were there any major moments in the qualifying? Any big moments that happened for you that you'd like to touch on? Was there anything that stood out?
Like the qualifying for provincials or qualifying?
No, sorry. I mean in the round robin for
For
nationals.
nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our second game against Alberta, that was probably our biggest game that we had. And at the beginning, we were kind of struggling a little bit. I think we were just so, I don't know, some of us were nervous. I know I was nervous.
Totally. Yeah.
But that was definitely a big breakthrough for us. As
Yeah.
soon as we won that, we were like, okay, next game, like put that behind us, forget about it, move on to the next one. And no, it was a
Yeah,
great
'cause
feeling to win that one. And
you guys lost 8-0 to Manitoba the game before that, right?
yes, we did.
And then you came back and you beat Alberta, which you must have known was going to be one of your guys' main competitions for the weekend.
Yeah, for sure. We knew going in that Alberta was definitely going to be one of the toughest teams that we were going to face, for sure.
For sure. So to bounce back again from an 8-0 to come back and win 6-2 against one of your best competitions is huge. And then you guys shoot 14-40 right afterwards and kind of go on a bit of a run.
Yeah, for sure.
Look at their last 5 games as a team: 13-70, 13-38, 13-25, 12-89, 13-99. That's some major scores there, eh, Abby?
Yeah, is it ever?
Yeah, for sure.
I do find note. I didn't have time to watch a lot of it. I know a couple games there you got one frame in. They're probably just trying to get you some frames in order to get back into the game, just in case they need you next game.
Yeah, so I came out on the third day. I came out the 4th frame. I just couldn't find it, and after that, I sat for 2.5 games. But both the games that I sat the whole thing, Martin was actually up by a lot in his match, and we had already had totals locked. So she's like, "Okay, I might need you the next game. I'm putting you in for the 10th, so you can throw at least 3 balls before we go back in." And honestly, I'd take anything I could get at that point because I just wanted to stay loose. I didn't want to feel stiff coming in if I needed it, and I just wanted to be ready.
Yeah.
I somehow can agree with you on that one. You know what?
You can't get put back into the 10th frame if you're already pulled.
Hold, exactly.
But I will say having the extra balls, I think that is smart. If you're up enough and it doesn't matter,
Correct.
throwing yourself in there, it was definitely a smart moment by Brenda to do that, right?
Yeah.
You're still part of the team. You get a couple reps and get your legs into it. You never know, right? So obviously that worked. Yeah, I know when Lynn asked me after about 2 games just sitting on the bench, she said, "Are you ready? Are you stiff?" And I said to Adam, "I was like, what am I supposed to say? No." So I went in. In there and promptly ripped a 3-pin.
Yep. Supposed to say no.
But no, in my luck, I don't get in the next day. So and then Tyler looked at me very disappointed, right? So.
But yeah, I mean, it obviously must have worked, Abby, because yes, they did 2 games in a row for you, right? Where you came into the 10th frame, it looks like, and you got 25-25. And then the next game, you must not have started again too, but you played the last 7 frames and shot 266 for your last 7.
Yeah.
Great.
So
Awesome.
it must have worked. It followed up with a 291. That's huge.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Can you describe how the playoffs felt and the different intensity levels and how just basically how it changes?
Yeah, like going into that final game, we practiced and we just kind of we were in focus mode. Like I was in focus mode. I was like, okay, we need to do this. And I'll say I definitely did not have the start that I wanted in the final. Brenda did end up starting me, and Melissa was on the bench, and I was hitting it, but I just couldn't find it. So she ended up pulling me in the fourth. But in that moment, I knew that it was my job to cheer them on. It was my job to be loud, and it was my job to make sure that I'm in it still, even though I was frustrated and wanted to help them, of course. But I needed to figure out how to do that on the bench as well. But it's definitely a completely different intensity level for sure. Like I was yelling so much louder. Everyone was yelling so much louder after every single mark. Even when we cleaned up pins, it was, yeah, good job, guys. Like, that's great. And no, it was definitely different for sure.
So that is a huge level of maturity that you just said there, because there's a lot of people that struggle to find that positivity on the bench and not sulk and not be mad about it.
Yeah.
And some people it takes a long time. Some people get it right away. Some people never get it. Some people it just takes some maturing to do. For you to do that your first year at a YBC and understand the importance of that is massive. That bench player is huge. You have to be positive, because if you go out there and you're negative after getting pulled, it becomes a black hole of emotion.
Yeah.
And it's your responsibility to close that up. You got to make sure that doesn't happen. So kudos to you for being mature beyond your years and able to do that. Because you know what, even a couple frames of sulking, you guys won that game by 5, right? Couple frames of like a poor attitude could definitely make up those 5 points. So
absolutely,
congratulations to you.
So
thank you.
I have a question. I know when I was like first time I played the Open, I was a rookie, and we had the first seed. It's a different atmosphere. I know you guys play provincials. We don't have step ladder in our provincials, right? So,
Okay.
But when you're off to the side and you know you're trying to, you don't know, maybe you don't care who you're playing, maybe you're watching what it is, but you can hear the noise. You can hear, it's almost like you're walking into a jungle, right? After you're warming up. What are your thoughts? What were you thinking? Because I know for me, I'm not going to lie, the first game I was a little bit overwhelmed, right? When I was in that spot.
Yeah, I was definitely, I mean, Alberta and Manitoba, they were both loud right from the get-go in the silver and third game, or second and third game. I definitely got a little nervous, I'll be honest, because it didn't matter who we were playing. They would have came out and they were going to be ready to win. Same as us, we were ready to win. And I knew going into the final that it was going to be close. And I knew that everyone was going to be giving it all they got and just putting everything in one basket. Like I was very overwhelmed too. I was trying to just block it all out, but it was very hard.
It's tough, right?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, hey, we made it happen. It worked. But
so go ahead, Adam.
Sorry, can you describe the emotions that you're running through let's say the 9th and 10th frames of that match?
I was dripping in sweat. Dripping. Like my head was so, oh my gosh, it was awful. But I just remember the last ball that Mitch had to throw. Cassie was on my shoulders. Melissa was right here. Martin was in front of me. Franny was behind me. And as soon as it left his hand, we were like, yeah, like we just started jumping. I don't even remember what happened, to be honest. I was just like, holy crap, like we won. And it's just an amazing feeling.
So I think all 3 matches came down to 10 at the bottom of 10, right? So as spectators, that's probably the best you ever wanted to watch, right?
Yeah.
Nothing was a blow up. Now, fortunate enough, Adam and I were still in the pit when you guys were playing. We're just doing our celebration or whatever. And I remember Mitch looked at your team. He's like, I'm going to go for the strike.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right? Now, Mitch, so I don't know if it had anything to do with what happened with Brad the game before, but Mitch is like, I'm going for the strike. Now, if for people didn't know the scenario, there's no 10th frame rule in the C5 Open. Yeah. Herbert went up and he threw 2 big fast ones on Mitch, right? So it's not ball for ball. So then I believe, right? No,
He got roasted on left corner.
Yeah, he got a
Mitch
left.
then
Okay.
plucked.
Okay, yeah. So he spared it,
Yeah.
right? And then so he was already 2 balls ahead. Mitch says, "I'm going to go throw the strike," and he punches, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're a guy in the sport that you want to be picking up your wood, it's Mitch, right? So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
right.
Actually, I was talking with Wolfson on that, and they actually decided at the start of the game that they were going to go with the 10th frame rule. They decided as teams to run that way,
Nice.
Okay.
which is the way it really should be. I would
Yeah.
love for the C5 to consider adopting that, just for the more the fairness of the game, especially coming down to a gold medal match, and there's one tangle or something like that, and the other team has 3 frames in. To me, it's
completely
nonsense.
out of your control, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
But anyways, so that being said, when Mitch punched, what was your
Yeah.
thoughts?
What's the roller coaster of emotions there?
I was like, well, the first thing I said, okay, all the pins, let's get them all. Because at that point, we didn't know what Mike was going to throw because he still had 1 ball left. And we also knew that there was still another game. So worst comes to worst, we still had another game.
Yeah.
But we wanted to win the first one. So we were just like, okay, all the pins. And he ended up getting a 2 on the one side. And I don't know, that's where the sweat started coming down. I was like, oh my goodness, he needs a pin here. After Mike pitched out. But no, like I said, like as soon as it left his hand, we all knew. And we were like, okay, thank God.
Yeah. you just have to touch one. And you know what? It doesn't matter whether you have to throw a strike to win or you have to pick a side to win. You let that ball go and you know it's good no matter what. That is a hell of a feeling.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody prefers to win earlier, but man, does it feel good when it does happen your way on this way, right?
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen this way, then it feels a little bit shitty. But yeah.
Mitch was absolutely fired up. He didn't even see the ball hit.
Yeah.
I guarantee he did not see that pin go down, and he's already turning backwards to the team. Right? That's the emotion that we need.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's the live streams have absolutely no sound whatsoever.
Oh, I know. That's what a lot of people, because a lot of people were watching from back at home because my family came and flew out to Newfoundland to watch. But there were a lot of people like my grandparents and a lot of family and friends that were watching and they couldn't hear anything. And the last game, the final, it actually started glitching a little bit. So my mom went live on Facebook so that people could see it and could see the final frame and everything like that. So kudos to her for holding her arm up here for an hour while we played our game.
Yeah.
Taylor, that's just because he throws the ball at 12 kilometers an hour. He could use a walker to get back to the lanes, and it'd be
not a whole lot of torque there.
I do time for the celebration.
Yeah.
I do want to bring up pinners or winners. You make that post, Mitch. He definitely reneged on everything he believed in. So he sold his soul to the devil. So
but it's true. It's true. You know, you need strikes to win tournaments, but you need to be able to make your pins because you can lose tournaments by not picking your pins. So.
And believe me, I know a lot of matches where I could have won if I pinned all of them.
That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes.
And then I guess from Mike Herbert's standpoint, after he sees Mitch plow there, right? What goes through his mind on the shot for it all? Right? Like, is he now thinking maybe start play thin? Because that's kind of what Mitch typically does, right? So when he sees that did not work for Mitch, does he kind of change his mindset on that next ball? You start to wonder.
Yeah.
I don't think Mike changes his mindset ever.
Mike picking that spare, like of course I was watching through live stream. He picked that pin dead center. Like I don't think Mike had any nervous thoughts really going on. I think he was just trying to throw the ball like he always does. He gets it out there a ways and was trying to throw a bomb, right? And it got a little thin and he missed. And that's going to weigh on him for a while. But Mike's been up and down those valleys his whole career, as long as we've known Mike. he'll be back stronger than ever next time.
Oh, it's just gonna motivate him. It's just
Yeah.
gonna motivate him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What did you know Mike at all from when he was out in Ontario?
I actually helped out with the invitational that was held
Okay.
out in Waterdown, and I met him there. And I'd watched him a lot on the all the cash tournaments that were played. I watched a lot of those, so I definitely seen him bowl, and he's an amazing bowler.
Yeah, I'd love to hear how he felt like being, playing for Alberta, facing Ontario in the finals, coming
And
down the
Mitch.
line. I'd love to hear,
Yeah.
and exactly, and Mitch's thoughts on it too, because they're obviously buddies too, and
Yeah,
but congratulations to you, and congratulations to Mitch, and a good friend of mine, good friend of the show. Just an overall good dude. Congratulations to Mike and that whole team too. But yeah, your team did incredible. So cool to see,
Yeah.
and it's so cool to see your passion too.
Yes.
It's so nice seeing the young people excited. It's what we need in this game.
For sure. Abby, any final thoughts on the event? Any shout outs? Any other comments you want to give out?
yeah. Honestly, just the amount of support that we had back from Ontario and at the lanes itself, there were a lot of people and family members that came to watch. I know Melissa had her dad and brother that flew out on the Tuesday to come watch. My parents and sister flew out to come and watch. Martin's wife Tammy came and watched. Like, there were so many people that came to support us in another province, which is crazy. And yeah, just in between games, like my mom and Tammy were making food and making sure we were fed and everything, and just honestly just being so supportive toward us, and that's awesome. And just all the people that watched us on the stream too, like just from back home watching and supporting us, so that was awesome. And then I guess just a shout out to my team, like thank you for making this experience the best one. And I mean, it's my first, so I'm so excited to see what's to come next. And I'm actually going to bowl Masters next year too. I heard that conversation with Courtney, so so looking forward to that too.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Can't wait to see you out at more events, right? Obviously, we probably only get to see you at nationals for the next few years because we know schooling and all this stuff is coming up for you. But yeah.
For sure.
Are you gonna be at Nebs in August?
I am going to be at Nebs in August.
Awesome.
There you go.
Perfect. We'll
I
see
know
you then.
Mitch mentioned to mention a story about Franny.
Oh, a story about Franny.
Oh, here we go. He texted me about it, so I don't know if Abby knows the story about.
Wait, she must if he's asking.
I don't know. She,
Let's talking about
I
Tim.
mean, you
I
could
don't
say
know.
it.
no.
sorry.
Go
Sorry,
after
look-
you. After you. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
after
tell
you.
the story.
Oh, what story?
I don't know about
Thanks again,
Franny
Mitch.
having a breakdown.
Oh, I think that was just more so the first 2 days Franny struggled quite a bit. But the third day, honestly, he turned around like it was like a big 180. Like he came out and shot so high, and it was like a whole new Franny. But it was awesome to see because I know that he was frustrated and he was upset and thinking that he was letting us down and everything. And I mean, he was a team sport throughout it all. But the third day, I mean, I don't know what happened, but he just came out guns a-blazing and he was shooting so big and he was doing awesome. So,
Tim, did you
It's
hang
great
out
to
with them that night?
sorry. Oh,
No.
I thought you were.
I was wondering if like
because you guys both
Tim
woke
and
up on the
Franny had
third
like
day.
had a powwow after the first 2 days and just figured their shit out together
No.
or something. I don't know.
So Mitch is blowing up my phone. Like he said he threw a gutter, 6 to 8 2 pins. The average 204. If you look at the stats here, obviously the second day he barely played, I believe, right?
Yes.
Maybe
He played 13 frames total
Frames.
in the second day.
right.
Yeah.
So kudos to him how he came back and persevered.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and then just
Yeah.
lit it up his last 5. Good for him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you expect any different, actually? Because I wouldn't.
No,
Yeah.
He's
Hey,
so good.
anybody on that caliber can come back, right? So,
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you, Abby, for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Mitch is going to stop blowing up my phone.
I'm surprised he's not blowing me up too.
Yeah, you know what? We wanted you on. We didn't want Mitch on, so we're
Nope.
so happy to have you. So
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Awesome.
Congratulations and good luck in your upcoming nationals. When is that?
It's July 10th to the 12th, I believe.
So in about a month. Yeah, good luck.
Thank you so much.
Keep us informed of how the pinfall is there.
Will
Give us
do.
the inside scoop.
Yeah, for sure.
all right,
All right. Have a good
All
night,
right.
Abby.
See ya.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
thanks again.
Bye.
Getting better, Tim. Hey, transitions getting better.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
what?
just
Yeah.
a big sigh. All right, well. Tim's ready
Here's
to
the
go.
cue.
I probably could just dropped her from the stream. I mean, that's another option, right? Our next
Poor
guest
choice,
can probably
poor
do that
choice.
too.
Our next guest, maybe she won't have a voice like Courtney. So, newest Canadian national champion from Alberta, from the next gen, Jenna Lamoureux.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
I have
Awesome.
somewhat of a voice, but I'm still very sick, so it is a little off today.
Just a little more raspy than normal, but
Just a little bit. It's
you
okay.
sound like you. That's good. How you doing? How you feeling?
Still sick, so trying to figure that out, but feeling good. Honestly, I still haven't really processed that it's happened necessarily. But I mean, it's still a great feeling to come home with at least a gold medal. So that's
At
great.
least a gold medal.
Okay, no, believe me, running the step ladder, there was at one point I looked at Tyler, I'm like, Tyler, I have a medal. He goes, yeah, but you're not done. I'm like, okay, but let me just live this moment. I have a medal right now. So it was a medal. It was all I was hoping for.
So, do we want to talk about a little bit of the team stuff with you?
Sure.
How was the team work for the weekend? How did you guys feel?
I know for us, obviously, nationals versus provincials, we struggled really hard. The first day, obviously most of you know I don't look at stats, so I really wasn't paying attention most of the time. But I know the first day we struggled, and our coach was like, guys gotta start getting going. If you want to win or at least be in this, you gotta start winning some games or some points. And second day, the first half was very rough, very, very rough. And then I think we won the last 4 games, or at least took 5 to 6 points. It was a lot better. The last day, we definitely came off really rough. I think we played PEI first, so it was kind of a good warm-up game, but it was we did not break 1,000, so it was very, very rough. Took points, but not ideal. From there, it was trying to get things going to get points on the board. I think going into our second last game, we played Northern Ontario, and we were told you need to win either this second last game or the last game to kind of put yourself in it. Managed to get points out of Northern Ontario, I'm pretty sure. So the last game we were good, we were set. It was fine from there, but I mean, we could get to the 6th frame, get off pretty good, and then 7, 8, 9, we kind of tanked almost every game. For some reason, I don't know what it was. I know for myself, bowling all weekend, there was a blockage of once you hit 7, nothing could run, nothing was going right, and that definitely kind of kicked us a lot during the weekend. We have our saying is 8, 9, 10 starts and 7 for us because we need that extra frame, and then nothing was going right from there, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
But we still made top 4, so that was good. But I know our game against Quebec in the finals, again, we were up probably 100 to 150, hit frame 7, and they beat us. So we just couldn't finish the game, and honestly, from where the whole weekend went, we deserved what we got. We just couldn't finish a game. We fought for what we got, but Yeah.
Yeah.
Hate to say it, as soon as the men's team came in to watch you guys, I think you guys opened 8 and maybe threw a strike in 9.
Yep.
So
And that's
we'll-
honestly how it went all
well-
weekend for us.
well, okay, well, I took the blame for it, so I don't feel so bad now.
No, Tim.
Yeah, it was unfortunate way to end things. You guys gave it your all. It just wasn't in the cards, unfortunately, that weekend, right? So
It was rough.
maybe you can talk a little bit about double dipping when we go as we're going into the singles portion, playing both. Obviously, you haven't probably bowled that much on a weekend before. So what did you learn, I guess? What kind of preparation did you put into it? If anything, or was it more difficult than you thought it was?
Obviously, I've never done anything to this extent, so I didn't know what to prepare for. Obviously, I bowled in Red Deer, so having the 14 games that one day was a little bit helpful to kind of put in the mindset of like, this is what it's going to take for your body. But again, I did no preparation. I think I bowled with Tyler in this Saturday before we left, and it was not great. But I had quite a few mental breakdowns. In all honesty, like it was hard. It was tough. I fought very hard physically and mentally the entire weekend. I've never had to do something like that. Obviously, it's very rewarding to be able to represent Alberta because it's a very hard province to qualify out of, and I'm facing so many amazing bowlers, but it took a toll on me. Obviously, I got sick like the second day, that Thursday, I think. So my body started shutting down immediately. Like, we were there for 15 hours. Like all I saw was a bowling alley and a hotel, and that was it. And it was not fun, but I mean, like singles qualifying for me was very tough. It took everything in me to even just make the step ladder. Because the first day you're coming from teams trying to do singles. So that's like instant mind flip. Like you have to change your everything that you're doing pretty much because it's just you now. You don't have a team behind you because I was always playing lead off. So trying to change that focus. And then again, flipping the next day because you're going straight to singles in the morning. And then again, flipping the day after was very difficult. But I obviously got to the step ladder, so I'm very happy about that. That was pretty much one of my goals was get yourself in a position that you won't be upset about where you end up finishing necessarily. And so for me to get this to the step ladder was huge. And then I was not expecting to get to where I got. Considering I had Tyler behind me literally telling me to use my body, which I've never had someone actually say like, use your body to bowl. Like that should be just instant, but that's how bad it was. And physically trying to force myself to throw a ball, it was like, use your freaking legs, man. Just like get those legs out there. But yeah, it was rough. It was really, really hard.
Obviously, Adam can relate a lot to this, the double thing. Adam's used to probably a little bit more than obviously yourself, but the mental grind that it's so taxing. Physically you can usually try to make it work, but mentally being on your feet, thinking about the game for that many hours, it takes a toll on you, right? You're more exhausted that way, I think, right?
It really was. I know, at least for the step ladder, like again, I don't look at stats, so that is not something that's ever like running through my mind, but it got to the point where I had to repeat the same 3 things in order for me to just like get on the lane and bowl. It helped though, because it kept my dad says, keeps coconut out of the equation. But like the same routine just to like get yourself to bowl was pretty much what I was saying the entire time. And the people who were when I was bowling against Alyssa sitting across from me, like you can just see me like staring the exact same spot the entire time, just like running my fingers, just like mouthing words, and they're like, is she okay?
Yeah. I thought you were going a little bit loony there, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously Tyler couldn't be down in the pit. You and Tyler have such a close bond since basically day one of your bowling, right? You guys have been stuck at the hip, and then you had Heidi down below, right? Do you want to maybe touch base on that kind of experience, having Heidi and having Tyler in the back?
Of course. So everyone always knows Tyler and I grew up bowling together. So if anyone knows me better than anyone, it's Tyler. He was always behind me all of singles, didn't matter what day, he was always there. And so I think obviously I had Dexter in the pit for provincial. So for me, not having Dexter was a little bit hard because trying to figure out that same voice behind me, but in a different aspect. And obviously Tyler couldn't be in the pit. So having Tyler behind close enough and then Heidi in the pit was, Heidi was there for my mental state where she had the same 3-4 sentences of just very calmness and it kept me relaxed. And then I had Tyler trying to get me to do the physical aspect of bowling. So both combined was what I needed specifically. It took me a while. I think I asked Heidi maybe like an hour before we had to bowl if she wanted to be in the pit because I honestly didn't know. It was a bit of a stressful decision because we have Len as our team coach and I've never had Len in the pit with me by myself. So it was a tough decision to make, but I knew having a very soft, calm voice behind me who can still get me riled up, as many of you could see at the very end of every shot, was nice. And then Tyler, who's known me for years, it was just a great combination for me. And I couldn't have asked for better people to have with me behind me. So, yeah.
Yeah, Heidi's so, I don't know, Heidi's awesome because she's so like, you look at her, she's so chill and she's so calm, but she's also absolutely hilarious and she's pumped up and you just don't always expect it from her. People that don't know Heidi don't expect it from her, but
I was always, in all honesty, I've always been terrified of Heidi. She scared me since I was young.
it's because she could choke you out.
Of course. And also, she's such a great bowler and like so intimidating, but being calm at the same time, you're like, what are you going to expect from her? And I think there was one shot, I think it was my 9th or 10th frame of the last game. Someone told me, they're like, I could hear Heidi more than I could hear you. And that's saying something right there. Getting your player fired up is like huge and massive to keep them calm, but still know that like you have everything behind them. So,
So going up the step ladder, you face Crystal Hibner, and obviously Crystal is unbelievable. Then you face Katie Wells, who just went off a goal. Jessie Bailey from BC. Many of you guys probably don't know her. She played unbelievable on the weekend. And you play Alyssa. Do you want to like? Was each match different to you in your mental state, or?
Yes. So obviously Crystal got that last 5th spot, which was kind of debating between the 3 people. So for her to get it was obviously intimidating on my end just because I don't know her personally, but obviously have heard many great things that she is as a bowler. So going up against her, I was very nervous, but very prepared for what could come at me. She was a little off, so that kind of gave me room to just do my thing and get going, which I think helped in the process of gating up the step ladder. Again, amazing bowler, but from her to Katie, obviously, again, Katie comes off a gold medal, and I've known her for years. I've bowled against her, so that flipped of like, it's almost a friendship now. I know her. I've bowled her before. This is someone you're used to, and so that changed immensely. But again, I was in like the zone. I felt it. It felt really good. I was not coming off of that, and I think I was working off any open frame for my opponents that I could. So coming off of Katie, again, I was like, I got a medal. You're in this. Like, just do your thing now. Like, there's nothing you can lose. And then not knowing Jessie and knowing that how she bowled the qualifying was a little intimidating because she had been bowling really, really well. And again, I struggled in qualifying. And again, that flipped, but it was still a very like in the zone kind of concept for me. Was you're here to bowl, like just throw your shot. And again, that's the same thing that was running through my head. So I wasn't looking at scores necessarily. I was just thinking, just throw a shot pretty much. Alyssa was a lot different, knowing that she comes from hometown. I've bowled on a team with her for a couple of years before she left to Manitoba. So that was a lot more difficult to kind of settle in and be like, okay, you're here for a reason. Yes, you know her. Yes, you've bowled against her before, but like, this is your time to shine kind of thing. And I forgot that you had to beat twice. So the first game I had like kind of started crying. I was like, "She can't beat me. Oh my God." And it's like, no, you still have to bowl another game. You just
Rookie moment, eh?
because I like ran to the other side of the bowling alley. I was like, "Kate, compose, like just chill out now." And I think having Heidi get me going rattled Alyssa a little bit. So that kind of gave me room to just, again, still do my own thing. And this was the first match that I did not look at all. Like I was turned around on the other seat. I hadn't looked at any of the scores. And again, I was saying just one shot, like one frame at a time, just throw a ball pretty much. And I think that helped because normally I'm like counting, if you throw this, then you can bowl this. If she doesn't, you know what I mean? Like trying to balance that and see what you can get. And I didn't do that this time. So getting into that second match of trying to beat her was huge. And again, I didn't look at any of the scores and I'm throwing the ball in 10. And I'm like, I think Heidi, the look on Heidi's face, I was like, I think this is done, but I don't know because I still haven't looked at the score, but I'm just throwing a ball at this point. And then I looked at like, I think the second ball in 10, I'm like, oh, it's done. I won. Oh, shit. And then there was like a hug with Heidi. So yeah, it definitely changed throughout every match, but Alyssa's was huge because it was someone you know directly. And
Yeah.
I was
You
really
played-
glad to pull her.
You played really good up the step ladder, and then
Yeah.
you played really, really well in your finals. And it was interesting because whether you were watching the scores or not, did you see her throw balls at all? Did you watch her throw
No,
anything?
I
No?
like instantly. So the way that where it was sitting is there was a huge gap in between like the two sets of lanes. So I was sitting on the other full set of lane in the like, you know how Sherwood Park used to have those seats in the front before you
Mhm.
switch it out? It was those seats, and I was turned around facing the audience, and I was staring at the leg in between Lynn's feet the entire time, or the ceiling above him. I did not look. I could hear it. That was what made the difference.
Yeah.
Was not seeing
Yeah.
it and hearing it was
Because you could tell, you know what you could
exactly,
hear the
but
result.
seeing
Yeah.
it was like, "Hey, don't look, just listen and go from there."
Yeah.
So I wasn't
Um,
watching any of it.
It was just interesting because watching that match, every time that Alyssa opened, every time she opened, you jumped on it. Like immediately. Every time that she had an open frame or two open frames, that's when you would throw a double. You capitalize on every opportunity that she gave her
Yeah.
or gave you. It was awesome watching. It was incredible.
It's kind of neat to see you and Alyssa's thought process in that match. You were
Yeah.
off to the side, staring away. She was listening to music, walking, keeping to herself, kind of thing. Two totally different mindsets and accomplishing the same thing, right? You're both throwing bombs, both throwing really well. And Alyssa's had an amazing year. Like she's going to be representing Manitoba at Masters. She went deep in Winnipeg. She went deep in Regina's tournament. Like to have you two battle it out was, I think, one of the best scenarios that the C5 could have for their ladies championship.
Yeah.
Right? That was
For sure.
amazing.
It was
Pretty
great.
just.
To see how far both of you've come, right?
Yeah.
From you guys playing our YBC to you guys playing together on our Thursday night league. Must be a thing, right? But you guys didn't win the championship, though we did. But I want to throw that out there. But besides that point,
Can we just mute him? Can we just mute him?
besides that point, besides that,
Drop them off.
This is
boycotting
genocide.
Canada.
This isn't
you
Thursday
guys have gone like through everything, and it's great
Yeah.
to see you guys grow like that.
And like, okay, so this is realistically your first opportunity at it, right? You lost your opportunities through COVID. You get to play the Open Provincials for the first time, and you absolutely crush it. And then you get to go to nationals, and you do this. It's just absolutely incredible. And talking to you as we have quite a bit in the last 3 years, you've struggled so much with confidence. I remember your first year playing Masters, you're sitting there telling me that, hey, like I can't play under pressure. I can't play in tournament situations. I just can't. Is word for word what you said to me. And I looked at
I'm
you
not
as
saying
like,
it's not true, but I'm still saying like I still have that mindset.
yeah,
Unfortunately,
well, it's
Not
definitely clearly not. You just beat everybody in the country.
Yeah.
You were the one that threw a perfect game at 14 years old at a national event. And you're telling me you can't play under pressure. And I'm like, Jenna, you're an idiot. And then you proved me
Yeah.
right. So thank
Yeah.
you.
it's been really hard. I think growing up in Alberta in the competition of ladies that we have, YBC, I mean, very different. You're against the same age group or like whatever, but now it's all of the ladies. And I think that's where a lot of my confidence kind of started to go downhill is you're going to be moving up, you're going into a different division, like you're competing against all of these ladies. You need to get like your shit together pretty much. And I know this year was great for me. It was a learning curve in many ways, and confidence has started to go up. I just it's a struggle for me. It has been my entire life, just with anything, and I'm trying, but like to me, it still doesn't believe like I did that. It's one of those things that's it happened, but I'm always gonna still see it as like anything can happen. Like I still almost feel lucky rather than like you did that, you know. But
You're about 3 seconds away of getting muted too.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So, Jennifer, to kind of cap it off for all those young ladies out there, same kind of thing I said to Courtney and Abby. What would you tell them? You know, your first open experience, having the same thing, like having success like you did, or what would you tell any young bowler out there from your experience?
I would definitely say like keep going. Obviously, it's this environment and this community is amazing, and everyone you're gonna have support from so many people. Like you just keep bowling and get to where you want to be. Like practice what you need to do. Like pretty much just always fight for what you want to fight for, because I'm still fighting for what I want to fight for. And all those role models that you have, they've been in the exact same position. I've have Katie and Heidi, who I look up to so much, who have been exactly where I am. So getting to this point, like you're going to get there. It takes time. Just never stop. Because obviously I've taken how many years now, and I am 21 and I'm where I'm at. So yeah.
Yeah. Any comments or anything, any shout outs you want to give to anybody?
Obviously, my entire team, my women's team is amazing. Going to Newfoundland with them is like the best experience you could ever have, even though I only saw the hotel and the bowling alley. I have to give like the best shout out to Tyler. He's always been behind my back, my biggest supporter since I was 4. We've bowled together for so many years. He's truly my biggest supporter. So
Awesome.
Well, way to feed his ego. Way to feed
exactly.
Tyler is an incredible human being, and
Yes.
we're also fortunate to have him, and for him to be an ambassador to our sport. So,
of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're in good hands out here.
all right. Well, now you cried during your gold medal, and now you're crying now. So,
I actually, I didn't really cry much. It was like after everyone's hugging, you're like, okay, I'm hot and sweaty. Like I need to go way down.
Yeah. Well, that's a podcast first, guys. Mark that down. All right. Well, thank you for coming on, Jenna.
Yeah.
Of course. Thank you for
Once
having
again,
me.
congratulations on
Thank you.
doing
Yeah.
such a great job.
Obviously, huge congratulations. You know how much I'm proud of you. Incredible. But
Thank
just
you.
insane.
I appreciate it.
So fun to watch live. Congrats.
Thank you.
I didn't get that option, but it was so fun to watch. So.
I'm still mad there's no video. I've been trying to find a video and there's no video.
That's for another
I'll find it for
podcast.
you. Somebody was live streaming it, so I'll
Yeah.
find it for you.
Tyson Nelson was the one.
I did watch it. It just like it was a different view. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Enjoy your night, Jenna.
thank you as well.
All right. Thanks,
Congrats,
Jenna.
Jenna.
Bye.
Thanks, Jenna.
Bye.
Oh man, that was awesome.
All right, and now we'll bring in our next two guests.
Our next two guests. Like, what the fuck?
We
20 minutes.
Tim Wiseman and Adam Weber. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey,
Awesome.
I was gonna say-
Transition yet.
we should talk about the singles first before we talk about ours.
Absolutely.
Let's do that. Let's do Max justice, right? So,
Yes, for sure.
Well, I guess I could probably touch base probably the best on Max there.
Yep.
Yet another year of incredible qualifying for him. He was all in again for the 21 games. Another guy that was playing both events, right? Kind of struggled in the team event for his standard, but was absolutely phenomenal the whole way through. Final day even. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, even the final day, because I don't have the stats, and I really wasn't tracking too much there. But I think he just had another solid day the last day, just to kind of hold on to that number one seed, right?
Yeah,
Well-
just a shade under 1900 for 7.
Yeah.
Which was still good.
Yeah, just solid, because it was day 1 or day 2 that he had the big day.
Day 2, he shot just under 2100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously getting that number one seed's absolutely huge, right? And he guess kind of had to wait to see who his opponent was going to be, and the top 5 guys there were absolutely phenomenal. With the even 6 and 7 all making big charges, on that last day. So. I made a bit of a charge the last day. Goal
Bit of a charge.
goal was to try to get from like 6 up to like 3, and almost end up actually sneaking him at the end there. So I wasn't following stats whatsoever. I could just tell by
through
the way.
the high block of the singles tournament. Just saying, the last day.
I remember 2019. You were okay through day 1 and day 2.
Yeah.
And then I looked at you as like, just find something and go on a run, and you'll be okay. And then you found something and you went on a run, and you ended up catching Max. And then here you are, and you're like, oh, day 3, let's find something. You should try to play what day 1 and 2.
So
No, you're not wrong.
outsider looking in, obviously the boys are watching Jenna, and they were watching Adam all weekend, right? I do have to say I've never watched Matt Montgomery play before. He's a solid player. Really impressed with how well he played. Obviously his last game was there, but there's something, and obviously I'm a little bit biased because I bleed blue, but there's something about Adam in that event where people are just expecting him to go off at certain points, right? And they're just expecting him to play that well. And I think Max knew it a little bit too. I think Max knew that at some point you're going to make a run. He shoots at 319 the last game to shoot you out by 17 or 18 for the first seed, right? But people knew that you were coming at some point. But I know after, I think day 2, I think, because you played singles the first and played team after, all he says, well, I'm just a 260 average bowler here, right? You had a different mindset than I've ever seen you have. And then you come back, play really well for teams, and then you play really well for the singles shift. So I guess my question is, I already probably know the answer, but for the viewers out there, what changed?
Clearly the mindset, of course, right? But so I guess to give a little bit of perspective for anyone who has, had the opportunity to play Red Deer for the WCBT, I found the lanes played very similar in the amount of break that was there. And my typical shot to get to that right pocket was yet again death, right? And I know a lot of people had that same type of issues in Red Deer. And basically I was averaging 260, 3 shifts of 260. Coming to that first day of singles, average 260. First day of teams, 260. And I couldn't find kind of whatever that next kind of step to make the jump. So my mindset was basically still back in Red Deer. And the biggest change was actually watching Shane Chafe. Just fireball it down there, get it to the pocket, and pins were absolutely exploding. So I ended up making a conscious effort to basically go back to my old school approach, just that hard and heavy, and then deal with whatever comes out of it, right? So then all of a sudden I was able to get it to both pockets. Both pockets were exploding. Everything thick was going, and quite frankly, all of a sudden the confidence starts rising, right? So all of a sudden just started playing the way I expect.
Yeah, you played very well. It was crazy watching Shane chafe. Shane was making a charge, and obviously the Newfoundland crowd came out there. We did.
Yeah.
He did recognize everybody that he was on podcasts. You know what? And I did jokingly say, if you do win this, you have to come on. And he's like, well, I wouldn't come on.
That guy
Anyways.
said he'd come on when bowling was back, and it's been back for an entire season.
Shane's shot worked really well at Plaza, and it was great to watch that. Obviously, we can sort of talk. You beat Greg in the 2-3 match, right? And then you end up playing Max. Max's first game, he didn't have it.
He started really slow,
but he threw a turkey or a 4-bagger at the finish, and it seemed like he found something. And then he started off 7-bagger, right?
Yeah, I think a couple things there. Yeah, he was struggling. I'm sure he just saw me, basically steamroll Greg before. So he's got to know I'm coming, for the top prize. I came out pretty decently, if I remember correctly, in the start of that first game, and he was just kind of all over the place, right? Kind of got to about the 7th or 8th frame, and Lynn, God bless his heart, ended up saying something to the effect that, all right, well, this match is over. Let's focus on the next match and kind of get going, right? And I think I ended up plowing 9. And I look up, then I need every pin. I need to clean up the wood and get 50 in the next frame just to shut Max out the first game. So I think me letting off the gas just a little bit there, kind of forced that little bit open. Maybe can kind of change Max's mindset a little bit at the same time. Came back, and I think he went spare 9 and triple and 10, all absolute bombs, right? So obviously confident going into the final match. And I think he still had choice of just being that top seed of whether he wanted to go first or second, what lane, et cetera, et cetera. Decided to go first, and he starts off 7-bagger. I think I went double corner. Spares were absolutely just dead on. So at that point, even though he's on a 7-bagger, he knows I'm still in this match. He knows I'm locked in. I'm still ready to go. And he really blew open 8, gave me any type of hope whatsoever, and kind of got it to basically my last ball, which if I throw a strike there, I forced him to at least mark in the 10th frame, and I struggled getting grip more with my pinky. Took a step back, went back up there, still didn't have the same grip, and the body just said we're going, and left 3-pin pulled a Mitch there, so it wasn't excellent. And just at that point it's free wheel for him, and throws the big game, shoots 360, which good on him. That's an absolutely incredible feat in the final match of arguably the biggest tournament in our sport, right?
So honestly, Weber, you know that I'm always rooting for you. You're one of my absolute best friends. I felt heartbroken for you. And I felt so good for Max.
Yeah. My exact feelings the whole way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And he's just such a good dude. You get to see the similarities between 2019 and now. The last time we have the Open, you finished 1, he finishes 2. The big difference in between the 2 years is that you guys actually put up a match. Because I think 2019, I believe it was 207 to 201.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
Yeah, and then so for you guys to shoot 260 to 245 was huge. And then your last game, you guys were just both absolutely lights out. It was an absolutely incredible match and well fought. And congratulations to Max, and congratulations to you too, Adam.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, no, Max put on a show. Absolutely, worthy champion. again, played absolutely phenomenal. I don't know how many nationals he's been, but I think 4 or 5 as a single, and he's typically played extremely well in the qualifying, and just kind of falls short. So I know he really gave the gears to Sly, which was incredible.
That
at
was
the
the,
banquet.
that was the best. Yeah. Sly might didn't like the Alberta Min, but in all fairness, Sly stole our bread. So Sly stole our bread before even more showed up, and then we might have encouraged with Liquid Courage to tell Max to do a joke on him. So for all those out there, he walked by.
Smiles all around.
Smiles around. He walked by. He said, "Hey, Sly, we wish you had one of these." And when he was going to get his photos, and Sly was just speechless. And obviously, best of friends, and it definitely made the Alberta Men's night for sure. So
That was good.
yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So congratulations to Max, hell of a feat. It's just crazy to see the parodies between 2 years. Yeah, it was awesome. It was really fun to watch.
That's what we love about having storylines, right? Even at these national events, some of the teams are there almost every year, right? It's the same 4 or 5 guys, and then they're battling against the same 4 or 5 guys from the other teams, and there's those rivalries and the personal victories, going up against Greg, for example, right? I think the absolute world of Greg. Like I think he's top 5, top 10 player all time type scenario, right? And he had that extra battle against those guys, and it's absolutely incredible. Though those rivalries will live on for decades, right? They'll live on through the kids. So.
Greg has the best smile in 5-pin bowling, right? Best
smiles.
It just goes the wrong direction. It just goes down.
Yeah, no, that made my night there, Sly. That's funny.
So,
shall we talk
Tournament
about the
how'd the week go? Let's start with Tim. How was the week?
You know what? We ended up winning, and I think that's the most important part.
It wasn't the fun you had along the way?
You know what? Again, like Adam and I think this is our third fortunate time we've had a chance to win, right, together. The team we were gelled really well all weekend, and provincials and everything else like that. And as Abby was speaking earlier, and Courtney, that goes a long ways, right? So, fortune that we have, like I said, like a humble brag. I have Adam, I have Tyler, I have Brad. We have someone who's pretty unknown for the most part, Adam Kemp, and then Brett's a 2-time gold medalist, right? So, we had a great team. So
I just want to go back to that. Unknown Adam Kemp, the man that went 21-0
for
at
sure,
nationals.
For sure, but people don't give him.
I think they do. I think you just don't see it.
They don't.
They
don't,
know.
Gary. No, they actually don't. And
Really?
he's super underrated in our sport.
Wow.
And
Doesn't play enough.
He admits it himself that just hearing that one stat, it absolutely, he hates it. That he's the 21-0 is the only thing that he feels he's ever going to be known for, right? Let alone all the championships and everything. No,
you should play more.
No different than Jenna, right? Where Jenna's known for the perfect game in YBC.
Yeah.
Right. So now they're building resumes to kind of get that one memory kind of out of the forefront. Incredible, efforts, incredible things on the resume, but they don't want to be known for that one thing. And Adam Kemp is going to be a known player in Canada for many years to come, and he can literally make any team out of this extremely difficult zone.
He is incredible. He's one of the smoothest lefties I've ever seen. And he's a great teammate. The guy is just
incredible
he's
teammate.
He's funny. He's
one of the funniest human beings ever. He's just so sneaky funny, and
every time we played well, he's like, "I'm coming up, it's coming up, Kemp."
What?
No, don't.
That's a cookie.
It's coming up, Kemp, right?
All right, moving on right away.
No. But he was good. So obviously the men's team, we played really well. We lost one game. It was a close game to Quebec on the first day. Lost it in 10. And then the second day we lose. We just got honestly just blown out by Saskatchewan one game, and then we lose one game to Northern Ontario right at the end, and then finally we got absolutely trumped by Newfoundland the one game there as well. But overall, we played really well as a team. Tyler was a great lead, right? I mean, obviously, for nobody realizes that he's a rookie, and
Didn't feel like it.
Didn't feel like it. Yeah. Having that there, Brad being there, Adam being the anchor, and like I said, I didn't play very well the first 2 days by any means, and I played better the third day. As I was telling everybody, Lynn did all the right pulls. There's no doubt about that. Certain circumstances, obviously, I got pulled more than have another person have a chance. That being said, when you have 5 players playing pretty good or damn good, you only have a certain amount of frames. You have a chance to prove yourself to coach that you're going to be sticking in, and I didn't do that. Right? It all worked out really well. Played really well the third day. Padded my stats very well, and made my average look very respectable. So,
do you think the name change was big for day 3? Because you were known as Time Wiseman the first 2 days.
Yeah, I obviously I give a lot of shit out there, and I deserve a lot of shit.
They fixed your name, but they left other people's wrong.
So
it must have been a C5 pull, hey Tim?
No.
They refused.
They refused. Actually, the one guy behind the counter says, "You guys are all professionals. Learn how to bowl," and walked away. So you know what? I do like to say that it shouldn't have messed me up. It didn't mess me up. I just I got a little bit more razzing over time, and it's not the first time I got that.
over time.
It was the first time that was a mistake. So,
got it.
The lanes I'll say play a lot different. They had different panels on the approach on certain lanes.
On a few of them, yeah.
So they took. They're not the same kind of lanes that we have in Sherwood. There's a different panel for the lanes, and there's a different panel for the approach. The panel for the lanes is a little bit more glossy, so when the humidity hits, it reacts differently. Then I know the Ontario team on 35-36 when they're practicing, they chose not to practice, just simply because they're blowing out their knees, right, and their backs.
So kind of give a little more perspective to it. So there's like 5, maybe 6 lanes there that actually had a panel that was essentially lane bed. So as the final sliding panel. So once you hit it, it was much heavier on those particular lanes. Lane 35 was literally unslidable, and it was the practice lanes for the mixed team. I saw like Rob Wilson, for example, they watching them on one of our buys, takes a couple steps and basically wrecked the rest of his day with that one bad slide. As Tim mentioned, the Southern Ontario mixed team decided not to even warm up. They decided to wait till they actually got to the lane and then do some slides and go. So there's another set, I think, right next door, 33-34. We played on it, I think, day 2, Tim, if I remember correctly, against Nova Scotia. And there's definitely noticeable. We all were just kind of using chalk and powders and stuff like that to kind of get through it on that. By the end of the day, they decided, C5 decided to shut that set down and move those teams over to separate lanes. The lane 15 was brutal, especially for singles. Through the first 2 days, I had played 3 games there. I think I shot 180, 205, and 210 or something just terrible there. All 3 of them were horrible. But sorry, I'm just looking at Mitch's comment here. Switch off that sit. Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. They probably should have just shut that set down right from the start. And there's, I think, enough people complaining. The other option is everybody's got to play it as scheduled, right? So I don't really think you can shut it down for that. My understanding is that the official C5 word was they were having issues with the score, which I have a hard time believing, as did all the bowlers that were there. So, but 15 was really noticeable. I think, especially the singles played all their matches on that, and obviously the teams were playing. But it was significantly better than everything down on the high end of the center.
Yeah. It worked out okay. Yeah,
So I like we're not picking on the center or anything, but let's delve into it a little bit. Do you think it's a grain difference in, like you said, it was a lane bed top instead of an approach top? Was the grain just?
It was like almost like a gloss, like like you have like when you have paint, you have your like say a primer, and then you have your semi gloss. It was sort
like
of
varnish.
Yeah, and it just there was nothing. As soon as you hit it, you were dead stopped, right? And then you mix in all the rain and the humidity.
Yeah.
It just added it. The funny thing is the front, probably 22 lanes, 24 lanes, was totally fine, as in like play, but the back lanes or the back 12 were, regardless of it, was significantly different just because the door wasn't there. Maybe the AC was different down there.
I heard the AC and that ended up breaking down or something, and there was a leak in the roof with it. So I think they ended up having to shut it down during the first day. So it definitely makes sense why it would be heavier and just warmer in general down on that side of it, right?
Honestly, that specific thing seems to happen almost every other year. Nationals.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It happened in Quebec too, right? So
yeah, but I mean, it's summertime, and those air conditioning units are not used to having that amount of people in the building.
Yeah.
At that time in the summer, it's interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But going to a national, especially the so-called veterans, right? They kind of know that is a possibility, and quite frankly, that's exactly why we have to have those sole and heel combinations to make it comfortable. Or chalk is like the great equalizer. It doesn't leave any powder like film or anywhere, right? And you can still get through slides, but even that on some of those high lanes was borderline useless. So
yeah, it was a lot different out there.
Any big matches that stick out for you guys during the round robin?
Oh, there's a couple tight ones for sure.
Maybe I can talk about game 18. That one. Well, game 17. Game 17, we absolutely choked it, right? So, as we're talking about certain lanes, we made enough complaints. We didn't play 33, 34 on the lanes that we did okay on. We go to 3 and 4 in middle of the ladies and beside a Newfoundland team, and the place was just bumping, right? It was loud. It was great. Oof. And it was great, right? And I don't know if it had anything to do with that. Newfoundland came out hot, and they stayed hot, right? And it was probably our worst game in provincials and nationals combined, right? We just didn't have it. But we're looking at it. You know how points are so important. I knew we were up by 10, I knew we were up by a decent chunk. If we beat Newfoundland, we don't have to worry about it, right? For the last game. So we go up there and we lay an egg. Kemp goes up there, bangs out 10, chain shave punches, and Kemp steals that point. Where Brad was up, Brad didn't do anything in 10, and then I forget who was in 4, steals his point. So it worked out that way. But that extra point made a big difference because we're going to the last game up 4.5 over them, right? Obviously, Newfoundland and Northern are playing each other. 2 sets past us, beside us, and we're playing BC. We had Adam could even agree. We weren't even looking at that. All our focus was being BC, winning the total and getting the first seed.
All that mattered. Yeah.
So when we're playing game frame 10, Tyler wins his match over Bailey Lawson, right? And all of a sudden we hear this cheer in the back, and it's Quebec. And we had no idea what was going on. We already had our matches lined up. One was going to be a loss anyways. And so we ended up with 7 points. That ends up being making Quebec get in by half a point over BC. And we had no idea that was happening.
Who we were playing in that
Who
last
we were
match.
playing. So we weren't doing anything like to make any difference. We're just focused on our game. And Nova Scotia shoots a huge 13 game against Ontario and knocks them out.
Yeah,
So-
Ontario ended up missing by 3.5 points, and they shot just under 1,300 and took two to miss by 3.5 points. Three teams fighting for that fourth spot.
So that's all going on, and we had no idea. Right? We were
Talk about just focused, right? Because we needed our total, right? Our total gets us to 8.5 regardless, right? One win in totals, and that's literally all we were focused on after that, terrible game against the Noose just before it. So yeah, it kind of sucks. I think we shot just over 3,000 or something. I think against BC both those games.
3,027.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ouch.
Couple big ones. I know Northern Ontario started out the step ladder with that big 16-12
Oh.
with
Yeah,
the
it
buck
was
90
huge.
in there.
Yeah,
And they actually would have the record. Greg hung a corner in 10, I think it was, right? So
that's
or 11.
absolutely insanity. 355, 338, 197, 373, 349. That is disgusting.
do you know? And so we're sitting there, and you always wonder what team do you want to play, right? And I think
Never.
I do always, but
Never.
The three teams in there all were equally great teams.
Exactly.
Right? So, but
You should be wondering how many frames you're going to throw.
It was under 22.5. I took the under on day two.
There was
22.5 Mitch gave me. I took the under. And he got like 27 frames in or some garbage because Lynn wouldn't pull him.
So, yeah. So, anyways, we looked at Northern. Obviously, it's like, man, whether we play Quebec is a great team. We have the home crowd and a great team in Newfoundland, and then we have Northern Ontario, and those guys are hungry because I know Greg and Taylor have made that step ladder how many times and not won a team gold yet. So they're hungry. Seeing them shoot the 1,600, then they did pretty good against Newfoundland again. It was like, man, hopefully they're throwing all their strikes away, right? So.
They played great the entire time. 1,600, 1,359, 1,304. Like you can't be upset about that. Those are all three of those are absolutely solid matches.
And look at I mean, Wes played awesome. Matt played awesome. Wes had over 1,000 triple in the finals, right? I mean, that's
absolutely.
So when we played them, obviously, I guess I got pulled. I mean, I was sacrificial lamb. I think I just did one for the team. Kemp did amazing. Kemp came off. And I think that was a big part of our team during provincials and nationals. All our people that off the bench were always coming in with strikes, not just one or two, it was 3 or 4. I think for a spectator, that match was in 40 points max, probably back and forth the whole game.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and it was crazy. If somebody we have maybe a frame with a strike or one mark, and then all of a sudden we throw a mark frame and they do the same thing, right? They open up except for one mark, right? So it kind of came back and forth. 10th frame came down. West throws a big one. Tyler throws a
Even
big
before that, though, Timmy, like it was super close going into 8, and then we threw a strike frame in 9, right? So we all threw strikes, which I rarely threw the 5th strike when the boys in front of me shot the first 4. So it's like real rare.
It's pro league all over.
So all over again.
Yeah.
So at least we've got basically a strike frame going home, and they knew we were in at that point, right? So because I think going into that, we were down about 70 or 80 going into 9. They all had marks, and then all of a sudden we start throwing. We have that chance going home.
Yeah.
So
Right. Yeah, and then West in that match, and then Kemp threw a double in 10, I think.
yeah,
Something like that, and Devin ripped a deuce, right? And he spared it, but I had a different feeling now after Susie ripped that. I felt like there was I felt like we kind of had a little bit tides have turned, right? And then what was the third match? Brett comes in, throws a double, which was big, I thought. And I think Taylor opened, or Taylor chopped cherry, or Taylor threw a chop spare, I think it was.
yeah. At that point, it was over.
Right, and then when Brad throws first one and Matt hung his corner, we knew it was over, right? But
Yeah. I think once Brett threw the first one, we were in real good shape. Once he threw the second one, it was basically a virtual lock at that point.
yeah,
And Brett had his ups and downs, throughout the whole nationals experience. Incredibly good that day 1, struggle day 2, bit of a struggle day 3, but we knew coming into that one match that his best was going to show up, and he showed up huge, especially in the biggest moments. So real big kudos to Brett for that, holding on to it.
yeah, absolutely. It was a great moment for all of us, and obviously feel super proud representing Alberta, right? And winning that for the boys, so and for everybody else at home, it meant a lot to us. So that being said, obviously we're big into stats. Adam is now tied for the most goals for an Alberta bowler, tied with Bruce. So how does that make you feel there a little bit, Adam?
I'm still not ahead. Right. So there's still some work to do. Every time I see anything like that, it starts putting things into perspective a little bit, right? It's there's always been 2 guys I've always chased, in Bruce and Gino, two guys I consider the absolute best this game has ever offered. Obviously, a little bias out of Alberta, but seeing Bruce's name literally on every leaderboard of all time, and to be able to track him down and try to even exceed in a few of those is it's kind of mind blowing, to be perfectly honest. So it's tough to see, but there's still more work to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Big congratulations to you guys. Absolutely incredible. That was one of the best teams I've ever seen. So
it's absolutely incredible experience, through the provincials. I guess just hard checkers at provincials get through, and then I guess we did okay at nationals too. AK. No, it was good. Just a great experience. Played 36 massive games. Averaged 280 or whatever at provincials. Averaged 270 here. Had 1 stinker in 36 games is unheard of.
yeah.
Adam,
2.
maybe you
had a 196 out of 181. So
What's that? Sorry.
you had
No. Sorry, the team. Like we
okay.
only had one game under like 12.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Adam, I know you had the chance to get inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
How did that mean to you? How much money?
You know what? I still haven't processed it. It's an absolute honor to be standing there next to Doug and Posty and Al Hong and Terry Blake, like absolute legends of our sport, especially the open event where I know the majority of the initial inductees were high performers in that particular event. Still feels like I'm too young for it. I know the accomplishments are there. based on the ranking system that they put in place, yes, I am there. Did I think one day I would be there? Yes, absolutely. I still feel that I'm at the best I've ever been in this sport. So I have a real hard time being able to fully grasp, the levity of it all. But just being a part of that group, and to join the incredible first class as well. It's pretty humbling, right? It puts a lot of things into perspective. All that hard work, dedication, time into the sport, whether it's in the forefront or behind the scenes, literally thinking about the sport daily, right? It's a mental grind for 25, 30 years, right? It's pretty incredible. Yeah. So I don't know. I still haven't fully grasped, and I know looking back, down the road, it's going to be an absolutely huge moment.
I think
congratulations, absolutely well deserved. The only thing I think you got wrong on that is that you're really not that young.
True. For that side of everybody can kind of compare Hall of Fame, to they're always thinking the big four sports, right? Where physically you're unable to play at that level at some point of your career. And then, it goes to, the big votes and having to do all that. The problem with our sport is, we still have high class players, in their 60s, 70s. Yeah. They can still play, maybe not at the level that they, originally could. But it's, I think down the road, I was going to be in there at some point. Just right now, it's so difficult to process. Totally. Because I still believe there's more to be done. I think I can get better.
But it could change at any point. You almost got hit by a car. Hit by a car.
It is true.
That could have been
No, he would have bounced off, but he has a lot of extra stuff on him. So.
We literally almost died in Newfoundland.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. It was not a dry eye in that house for all the inductees. I think Dougie McCaw cried.
Unreal.
Terry Blake cried. Adam has no emotion. He didn't cry. You know what? Bobby O's wife was unbelievable.
What a speech.
It was an amazing speech, she said, and I have to really give her kudos to that. To come up there during that time and say such an amazing speech about Bobby and the sport, it was really good to have. So. It couldn't happen in a better place, right? Obviously, in Newfoundland for that to happen.
Yeah,
so
absolutely perfect timing.
Yeah, it was perfect that way.
You could definitely tell he was very much missed when we were out there. It's just something was just a little off. Something was missing.
He was the heartbeat, right?
He was, the proverbial heartbeat. I agree.
Yeah. Well, big congratulations, guys. Absolutely well deserved. Incredible tournament. Legendary. Both of you guys now.
No. We want the Hall of Famer. I ride you guys' coattails. That's all I do.
Could have summed it up better myself.
You know how
that's a cookie.
you know how the point system works. So are you eligible now?
No. I there's so many more people ahead of me.
I know, but there's a point system, right?
No, I will clarify how the system works again. So, I always say the way they did induction at the beginning, they had to figure out a way to get people in properly, right? So they did a point system. They still have it, but it was to find out the first 10 people. Now you have the point system, and each province gets it, and you guys either go off the point system, or with the way the Hall of Fame resume or nomination form works, is that you can add in masters, you can add cash tournaments, television, everything else like that. So you can really build a resume for somebody out there. So for Kerry, he has a gold medal, right? In the Open, he has a gold medal in the Masters, right? How many cash events is he? Perfect games. You really can build a resume. As far as I'm concerned, C5 is running the Hall of Fame, but it's a Canadian Hall of Fame. That's how I look at it. So there's a lot of people out there that are much deserving, and I just really hope that the provinces put the best people forward. That's all, right? So
That still didn't answer my question. You got enough points to get eligible, correct?
No, I don't have enough points.
I think you do, right? Because how many goals do you have? You have 4 out of 5 attempts.
I have no all-stars. I have 4 goals, and okay, I don't like to toot my own horn. I don't like talking about it. And Carrie knows that. Everybody knows that.
That's why I'm asking. Because I'm asking. You're not tooting your own horn. I'm asking you.
It was a pretty cool it was a pretty cool thing to look at who's won 4 golds in Alberta. It's Jan Anderson, Tom Stevenson, Gino, right? And Lawrence Faubert. Those are all legends, and you have Adam and Bruce. So for me to be in that, I obviously I feel like I'm the odd man out, right?
I just don't understand why you won't answer my question. Do you have enough points?
I don't know, and obviously
I think you do. I think you're sidestepping this.
I have no idea. Maybe.
Well, I will find out for you.
Maybe if Adam didn't steal 2 singles away from me, and maybe if I didn't lose two Masters singles, I might have a better chance. But I'll keep on riding people's coattails until I even have a chance. There's so much left out there, right?
Yeah,
so.
that answer bugs me as well, Timmy. So
Yeah, that's a painful end to the podcast.
yeah. One day, I truly believe all 3 of you will be in there.
We'll see. We will
I
see.
truly believe it.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I think it's on the right track. So
Tell us how you really feel. He won't tell us shit.
Doesn't say shit around here.
Oh man.
Anyways, yeah, obviously great C5 Open. We could touch in, like, we kind of briefly spoke about the no audio and stuff like that. We could pick apart every little piece of the event, but overall it was obviously amazing. All the players loved it. The people from outside of the Rock were watching. We kind of got the gist of what everything was going on. It was more word of mouth than what was actually we could find. But C5 kept up on the stats. You just had to keep refreshing the page, and you got to watch people bowl. So it was good. It was good in the end. So
Yeah, congratulations to the committee. I know you guys fought through some things that you guys never wanted to fight through, and out
of your own control.
Yeah, exactly. So kudos to you guys for finding a way to make it all work, and it from everything it sounds like it went really well, and the things that the things that happened, and that's not on your fault. Just congratulations on a great tournament overall.
So next year it's in Edmonton. I can probably spill some beans on upcoming things. It will be at Bonnie Doon, and we will be staying at the Radisson on the Shore Park Freeway. So we're just getting everything hooked up there. Pretty excited. I know probably have the 5PU crew out there to do the live streaming. And we have some sponsors already coming in, working with Alley Cat and stuff like that. So cheap drinks at the hotel, that's what we want. And maybe there might be 5PU brew there. Who knows, right? So
maybe.
Yeah. So we're really excited to have you guys in Edmonton. So
Cool.
Beautiful.
Cool.
We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
Do we have anything lined up? I don't know. I know it's summer, so we're probably not going to be hitting every week here for everybody that's watching, but we do have some WCBT stuff coming up, that there will be some streams going on, and obviously 5-Pin Pro League is in the works. I know DB's been working behind the scenes a lot on it, so I think we're going to have maybe that announcement next week. So
Yeah.
And Tim, we have somebody on next week, don't we, Tim?
Yes. lovable Nick Utley. Hopefully,
Utley.
I believe
Awesome.
that was a heavily intoxicated conversation in Red Deer between Carrie and Nick, if I remember
you know
right.
what?
No,
No, not you. Okay.
not me.
In all fairness, Nick has a lot of great things he's done for the sport.
Absolutely.
He's very strong-willed, and maybe he doesn't budge on things. Maybe that could be his downfall. But everything he's ever done, it's been for the sport. It's been out of the kindness of his heart, and I think he has done some really good ideas in the past. So
We talk about people with passion, and he is a guy that has absolute passion. So it will be he loves talking the game. It'll be good. It'll be really good.
I just hope he doesn't hold back for you boys at all.
And I hope he gets a haircut.
do you know what I have a Brad Marchand jersey I can wear for the podcast. I know he loves it.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. We'll get him riled up right away.
Yeah, you betcha.
All right. Are we good? Are we good?
All right, we're good. All right, thanks everybody.
Thanks,
We'll
guys.
see you
Thanks,
next week.
everybody.
All right, take care, guys.
Bye.